Hi boys and girls, gonna read you a story. Hope you guys are all doing good and getting as much of your schoolwork done as possible for your grown-ups. Before I start my story today, I have a couple questions for you. And my first question is, how many of you know what a peacock is? Okay, and how many of you know what a hen is? Now, do these birds look alike in any way? Okay, now I kind of gave a clue away and I said these birds because a hen and a peacock are both types of birds. I was talking to Hayden about this book a little bit ago and he said, well, do they both fly in the sky? And I said, well, you know what, buddy? They don't. Peacocks do not fly in the sky and neither do hens. But one of the other questions I had for him was, where do we see peacocks at? Where have you guys seen peacocks at, if you've seen them? I've seen them at the zoo before. What about a hen? Where have you seen a hen at? I've seen them in barns, and usually I find a barn at a farm, so that's a good place. And Hayden had also said to me that he saw them at the zoo, and he was actually right, because when we go to the children's Fort Wayne Children's Zoo, there's a petting zoo, and there is usually hens in there, so he was correct in giving me that answer earlier. We tried recording the story with Hayden giving me some answers, and he was doing really good. And then Crazy Man Hayes woke up from his nap early and interrupted our story, and I ended up kicking both of them out. And I had to restart the story because it was just not going good. There was whining and fighting happening, and I just had to start over. So we'll try it another day when Hayes takes hopefully a longer nap with Hayden. Hayden will be my student to help answer the questions. Okay, so how do the peacock and the hen look different? And how do they look alike? I want you to tell me that. Tell your grown-ups that. How do they look alike and how do they look different? And then I'm going to go ahead and show you the cover. And there it is. Today I'm going to read you the story, and it is called 3 Hens and a Peacock. Can you point out to the peacock now? And can you point out to the hens? Now look at their faces. I told Hayden, look at their eyes. How do you think they're feeling? I was thinking they are probably feeling a little bit scared or surprised. I can just tell by the mouths and the eyes. They're like, ah! Now, notice this. Oh, it received an award. Book of the Year award. That must mean it's a good story. All right, so let's go ahead and read the story to find out why the hens are upset. Ooh, I love the first page on the inside. Look at all that. I'm trying to figure out the best way to get you guys to be able to see the pages while I read for you. 3 hens and a peacock. See the setting there is a farm. Things were quiet on the Tuckers' farm. The cows chewed their cud. The hens clucked and pecked and laid their eggs. The old hound stretched out on the porch, watching and listening. Once in a while, someone would stop to buy tomatoes or corn, perhaps a quart of milk, but nothing unusual happened there. Until... Now, before I even continue, what is happening so far that we can see in this illustration? What animals do you see on the farm? And what do you think might be in that box? Amazon. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know. Until that peacock showed up. What? Who sends a peacock in a box? That sounds sounds a little bit like animal cruelty to me. The cows and the hens and the old hound kept right on doing what they'd always done, but that peacock had never lived on a farm. He had no idea what to do, so he spread his fancy feathers and set to shrieking. Now, boys and girls, do you know what that word shrieking means? Can you imagine if somebody shrieks what that sounds like? Eventually, the peacock wandered down to the road. When cars whizzed by, he shook his feathers and cried out in his loudest voice. Of course, folks stopped for a closer look. Now, why do you think people are taking pictures of the peacock? Maybe because he's on a farm? Do we normally see peacocks on a farm? Maybe they've never seen him before. They've never seen a peacock before. I'm not sure. I wonder what's so crazy and special. Look at this illustration. I just noticed something. Do you notice anything particularly different about this peacock? Okay, I'm not going to tell you yet. I'm going to keep reading and see if you notice it along the way. Day after day, more folks stopped to admire the peacock, and they all bought tomatoes and corn and eggs and milk. Business on the Tuckers' farm was booming. Everyone seemed happy to have visitors stopping by. It says fresh produce. Kind of goes along with that book that we read the other day at the farmer's market. Oh, they said everyone seemed happy, but look at these hens down here. Are they looking very happy? But trouble was brewing in the hen house. The hens were squawking and clucking and flapping their wings. We do all the work around here. I'd like to see that peacock lay one single egg. That's true. Peacocks don't lay eggs, but hens do. Exactly. He just struts around here screaming. I suppose those fancy feathers are more important than laying eggs. Do you think that's true? Do you think fancy feathers are more important than laying eggs? Oh, look at these. I'm going to go ahead and show you these pictures. And then over here on this page, look at these words coming out of the hen house. And notice they're in quotations. Whenever some words in a story are in quotation, sorry, my tongue got twisted. Whenever words are in quotations, that tells me that the author is trying to tell me that somebody is saying something. So let's see what somebody is saying out of that hen house. That lazy peacock gets all the attention, and we do all the work. Now, the hens are upset about the peacock, but why are they unhappy? Do you think the peacock should lay eggs too? Do peacocks even lay eggs? Are they capable of doing that? I mean, because if they can't actually do it, they can't really be expected to do it if their bodies won't let them do that. I really like eggs. I actually just had some this morning, but I'm wondering, would a peacock egg even taste yummy? Weird. I don't know about that. Okay, let's keep reading and see what happens. The peacock had heard every word that those hens were saying. For days he moped about, groaning and moaning. I wish I could be more useful around here, clucked one hen. The others ruffled their feathers. The old hound stretched and slowly raised his head. Why not let the peacock stay here to be useful while you hens take the glamorous job down by the road? The glamorous job? What's so glamorous standing down by the road? I'm confused. Now, how does the peacock feel when he's heard what the hens were saying about him. At the start of that page it said, the peacock had heard every word. For days he moped about, moaning and groaning. If you moped about, moaning and groaning, how would you feel? Probably sad, maybe a little grumpy, not good, right? Definitely wouldn't be feeling good. Do you think the hound's idea, the dog's idea, is a good one? For them to trade places? For the hens to go down and do the glamorous job by the road and let the peacock stay on the farm and do the work for the day, which I believe is making eggs. Let's find out. The three hens began clucking to one another. What a wonderful plan! Yes, it's a fabulous idea. Oh, ladies, we simply must fancy up our feathers tonight, and nothing but our brightest beads, bangles, and bows. Somebody wants to really get fancy here. We'll stop traffic for sure. Why, you girls know I can strut with the best of them. These hens have a little bit of attitude. The peacock perked up. Let's do it, he declared. Tomorrow, I'll stay here, sit on a nest, and cluck. And we'll get up and we'll get all gussied up, said the hens. We'll be so glamorous. Let's see how this turns out. At sunrise the next morning, the hens strutted down the road. The peacock marched right to the hen house and poked his head inside. The hens flocked by the road, waiting for a car. When they saw one approaching, they clucked and squawked and flapped their wings in a flurry of feathers. But every car whizzed right on by. Now, the cars, they're not stopping for the hens. Why do you think they're not stopping for the hens? They're just zooming right on by. And do you think the peacock's gonna be good at laying eggs? Let me read that next page. The peacock sucked in his tummy and wiggled from left to right, trying to squeeze through the tiny hen house door. His front half was in, his back half was out. His front half was in and his back half was out. Is that going to be very good for laying eggs? Let's see. Make sure I didn't skip a page. Down by the road, those hens tried every chicken trick they knew. Still, no cars stopped. Finally, the peacock made it into the hen house. He held his breath and pushed with all his might, but no matter how hard he tried, he could not lay one single egg. Not one. The old hound stretched out on the porch, watching and listening. "What's that peacock doing in this hen house?" asked Farmer Tuck. "Who knows?" said Mrs. Tucker. "And what are those hens doing down by the road? Not a one of them is up here laying eggs." "Well, the way things are going, we aren't likely to have anyone buying eggs today," said the farmer. "We need that peacock down here stopping cars." I'm sorry I didn't show you those pages. When the peacock heard that, I feel like I'm skipping pages. No, he didn't. When the peacock heard that, he smiled the biggest smile you ever saw on a bird's beak. I am helping, he thought. He squirmed back and forth until he popped out of the crammed hen house. Then he trotted off to find the hens. The exhausted hens were all clucked out. Every feather was out of place. Oh, what a day. Now, if you were exhausted, how would you be feeling? Tired. We couldn't get one car to stop. It's true. Why, most of them didn't even slow down. Look at them. They do look exhausted and a mess. The peacock met the hens as they trudged up the road. I can tell you, I'm no good at laying eggs, he said. I'm just not meant for it. One Ned hen nodded. I put on my stellar strut and even I couldn't stop a single car. I have to hand it to you, Fancy Feathers. Your job is harder than it looks, the other hens agreed. The peacock looked relieved. Now, what have the hens learned about the peacock's job so far? Did they learn that it is hard, that it wasn't as easy as it looked? And do you think the hens are still going to be jealous of the peacock's job? Okay, let's read and find out. So the hens marched back to the hen house. The peacock strutted down to the road. The old hound stretched out on the porch, waiting and listening. And things were quiet again on the Tucker farm. Now, I have two questions for you. First of all, did the hen and the peacock, did they learn, I should say the hens, did the hens and the peacock learn to be appreciative of what the other one's jobs were, what they were doing? Did the peacock learn that the hens did have a hard job sitting on their nests and laying eggs all day? Did the hens learn that the peacock's job of standing by the road and getting cars to stop or come through was also hard work? I think they did. We kind of know that by the last page when they says, and things were quiet on the Tucker's farm again. But authors and illustrators do a great job of giving us clues throughout a story to help us learn more about the story. On that last picture that I showed you, do you see anything that's going to make you go, Things were quiet on the farm, but look what's happening. I wonder if that could start out all over again, just like the beginning. Nothing unusual happened there until the peacock showed up. Now the peacock and the hens learned to get along with each other and appreciate each other. And then at the end of the story, a brand new box. See a little hand sticking out. I don't know what it's going to be. So this is perfect because it's going to roll right into the next part of your assignment. I would like you to get a piece of paper. I'm going to grab my piece of paper very quickly. Okay, now my piece of paper is not really a piece of paper, it's just a whiteboard. But on your paper, I would like you to write me the next page of the story. Okay, so I would like you to draw a box and a picture of whatever you think it is that's going to be coming off that truck in the box that's going to surprise the peacock and the hens and the hound and everybody else on the farm. So then after you draw your picture of what you think is going to happen next in the story, this is the sentence I want you to add. I want you to say, you know what, let's change it that way it's part of the story. In the box was a dun 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 dun. I don't know, because everybody's part of the story is going to be different, and I cannot wait to see these. So I would like you to write the sentence. In the box was a blah, 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 blah. That's what I always tell you in the classroom. So write that sentence, but where you're blah, 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 write what you think it's going to be. In the box was a turtle. I don't know. In the box was a alien. I hope not. In the box was a dinosaur. I don't know, whatever you want it to be. And then draw your box and your picture of what that something is going to be. When you're all done with that activity, you can post, your grown-up can post your picture or a little short video below our video of this story, or you can have them text it to me in the Remind app, okay? I can't wait to see what you guys' answers are. Add me a brand new page to the 3 hens and a peacock.